A town board in Onondaga County voted no this week on a developer's request for special zoning to build 25 new homes. The board instead approved zoning that will result in fewer homes, each of them with a price tag that's $60,000 higher. At a town board meeting, one resident pleaded, "Please keep our neighborhood the way it is." And so, Rick, should the residents of a town have the power to decide whether to build new housing, even when the county as a whole is in the middle of a housing crisis?
Well, first, to be fair to Van Buren, one, the current law is that new houses have to be built on 1 acre sites. And the developer wanted them to be built on 1/3 of an acre. So he was asking for the variance. Second, they have applied for and received money to put up, I believe, 70 moderate income apartments in the town with the use of federal funds. So they are moving forward. But what you describe is really what's happened throughout New York State. We have a very antiquated system of overlapping governments, towns, villages. Then you have school districts that overlap them. In most of the rest of the country, at least in the South, what you have are county-wide governments where you are able to make these decisions much more easily. We've had, about 20 years ago, a move toward
consolidation?
Yes.
Consultation.
Bringing together. Consolidation, thank you, I'm sorry. And it failed because people like their, little police departments and all. So I think we're going to continue to have these problems.
Yes, Jenny.
So one of the things that I picked up in the news reporting of this is that Van Buren hasn't yet had their comprehensive plan completed. So there is currently in upstate New York a set of comprehensive planning activities happening across the municipalities. I'm a big proponent of comprehensive plans. One of the issues with this proposed development is it is located in not a particularly great spot for more high density housing. There are some road issues, some drainage issues. So, I think comprehensive plans allow for the town to identify where are the locations in the village, in the town, where in fact you could have higher density housing. That's the first. The second thing I'll say is that public input really matters. So I have been involved in the past in efforts to try to bring the community together for public discussion about these plans before they then move to a final vote. That requires activity, though. It means you can't just put up a meeting and say, hey, come. It means active solicitation of the public. Because otherwise, only those who say, not in my backyard, they're the ones who show up. But really, to get a fulsome perspective of the public, you need to engage in public deliberation.
The article that you send us about New York Times, there's a wonderful book there, reference called the Home Voter Hypothesis. And the idea is that, you can buy a policy to protect your home or your car, but you cannot really buy a policy to protect your neighborhood and how the nature of your neighborhood would be. And that's why this NIMBYism comes in as sort of an insurance policy of kind of collective action among very active people who have lived there for a long time to make sure that their neighborhood is always in their own image. I do not agree with that because neighborhoods change. We are always, the only thing constant in this world is change, to quote Marx. So, on the whole, I think there should be some kind of a compromise situation here because we do need housing. And I was reading at the comments of WCNY Central. Everybody thinks that whoever is getting this housing is getting it for free and they're freeloaders and poor. But that is not true. These houses are about $400,000.
Market price.
So, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's right. No, I agree. Look, and one of the problems is that the squeaky wheels get the grease, right? It's the people who are opposed who show up. But you're right, neighborhoods change. And I guess a couple things I would say, these people bought homes near undeveloped land. When you do that, you assume a certain level of risk.
Right.
It's totally clear to you that the neighborhood could change. I understand there are issues about roads and drainage, and maybe this isn't the right parcel. But this notion that, a 1/3 of an acre lot isn't large enough, I just can't get on board with that. I can't. The land that these people live on currently, where the existing homes, is already zoned the way that the developer wanted the land to be zoned.
Right.
So they're asking for something that doesn't even apply to them. And so I just think this had nothing to do with affordable housing. As you said, these were expensive homes. I'm not sympathetic. I'm 100% in agreement with you. Like so many issues in New York, the problem is all of the various layers of government, which just it raises the cost of getting anything done in this state.
I agree.
Yeah, and it's those regulations and the zoning requirements that become the mechanism through which local neighborhoods can essentially block new development.
So I think the state and federal governments, to the extent they're providing funding or whatever, they need to exercise their power in this regard.